Welcome back to Signal Solutions TV. I'm Mark Rose, and I'm here with Adam Butler and Peter Schwartz.
Excellent. Yeah, good. So, Peter, thanks for joining us today. Peter is one of our valued partners, joined our partner program working closely with us from a company called Arixalign. So thanks for coming along today. I know it's not too far down the road from you. You're based in central London, aren't you, in the office?
Yeah, correct. It's actually nice weather, so a pleasure to get here today, and thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, nice and dry, a bit cold. But I thought a good a place to start as any. Tell us a little bit about Arixalign, what the company does, of course, and your role within it, if you would, Peter. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Arixalign, we are a managed service provider based out of London, got offices all over the world. South Africa, we're just opening one in Dubai. We've got service teams in Manchester. So traditionally, we support all sorts of businesses for IT purposes. Where I come in the business now is as a senior technology consultant. I'm working more and more in the construction property space. And we are seeing a lot of changes in the market at the moment. So the technology is changing, people's needs are changing, buildings are changing. It's a really interesting place at the moment.
Yeah. So you're consulting on all things related to technology with your clients.
Yep.
Yes. And what sort of trends are you seeing happening out there?
Well, I suppose as the world has become more and more connected, people are expecting more. People want to be online at any one point in time. Doesn't matter whether they're connecting in via phones, PCs, servers, etc. They all want connectivity. Yes. Connectivity comes in many sort of forms, shapes and sizes, as we know, but everything needs to be connected these days. And obviously security is at the forefront of that, but people's usability, it comes down to that at the end of the day. If they're not able to get online, there's big problems.
Yes, yeah. And typically then, so would a client of yours engage with you far in advance of the project build, always at project stage, before they're putting their tenders out, all that kind of stuff? How would that work?
Interesting you ask that. It differs, and it differs depending on what we're working on. So Arixalign, we will get involved in the construction phase of a building, a base build. So when the tenders come out, we'll look at that, and we'll look at what's needed from a technology perspective in the building. However, we also work with buildings that have been established for a while, people who are retrofitting the buildings because, again, requirements have changed, or maybe there's new legislation out. A good example is I'm currently working with a building who had a fire safety drill the other day. Everyone was going down the fire exits. People couldn't make any phone calls from their phones.
Right.
If that was at a real fire and they wanted to contact their family to say what was going on or whatever, no connectivity in the fire escapes. No, it's not good.
No. It's actually one of the things we are going to talk about in a upcoming episode of Signal Solutions TV is Martin's Law. Don't know if you've seen much about that.
No, I've not. No.
So I'm sure we'll talk about it, and we'll have researched more ahead of that particular episode to come up with the facts. But effectively, it's about protecting the public in the event of an act of terrorism. So if you're in a venue or an event, making sure that all of the things are in place to ensure the public's safety, and of course connectivity. You talk about a fire alarm and people not being able to use their phones. Trying to evacuate a building, maybe they need to ring the emergency services because something's happened in the stairwell on the way down.
Absolutely. And if you traditionally look in a lot of buildings and how they've been built in the past, is when you've got a construction company paying for a building, they don't want to be putting connectivity in everywhere that's not needed. You'll go into basements, and often you'll find in a basement there's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
If there's no Wi-Fi in a basement, how are people making phone calls down there if you're in a Faraday cage, so to speak?
Yeah.
It's a really interesting story at the moment. But yeah, generally we are helping buildings become more smart these days.
I think that's the key, that we're seeing the same sort of trend, that people are not just comfortable putting in Wi-Fi only or internet these days. They want to make sure that their staff, customers, whatever type of venue it is, building it is, they want to make sure that people are connected all the time. And you touched on a really good point there that, you know, I hate to talk about like terrorist attacks and things like that, but you know, if you think back to like 9/11 or the 7/7 bombings and things like that, people wanted to let their loved ones know that they were okay. They wanted to potentially get help to a certain location, and it's not always possible if there's no Wi-Fi, but especially no mobile signal, because you can't just make a basic mobile call. So
Absolutely,
we're starting to see more of a need for that in the building, that it's not just Wi-Fi only, it's Wi-Fi and some kind of mobile enhancement in mobile signal enhancement in buildings as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think resilience comes into it a huge amount. So if you've got Wi-Fi, why not have mobile signal at the same time?
Yeah.
I've seen protesters, well, I've not seen them myself, sorry. I've heard of protesters going around and cutting internet lines of insurance companies in London.
Yeah.
So if their internet lines are cut, they're not going to be able to use Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But they are going to be able to use their
They could
phones.
still use 4G or 5G on their mobile.
Absolutely correct.
Or tether from their mobile to a device. That's the thing. It is it's a backup, or like you say, it adds resilience to a business.
With the speeds you get from 5G now,
Yeah.
it's a good failover. It
Exactly.
really is.
And the security, you know, our research, and again, a lot more information on the website about it in some of the blogs that we've put together. You know, the mobile network arguably is, you know, military grade security. It's far more encoded and much harder to potentially hack than any Wi-Fi network would be. I mean, I'm sure there's very clever boffins in the background there making sure they're super safe, you know, but at the end of the day, you've got your failover, but for super secure things. It's why SMS messages deliver two-factor authentication, because one of the safest ways of delivering that to the handset of the person that needs it. Very hard to replicate or clone the device to be able to mimic that particular phone number. So yeah, you know, I mean, you know, we see definitely efficiencies for customers, security for customers, for the customer of the building, as it were. But then for the end user, so if you're in a hotel or a retail space, the actual customer, you know, it's using that, there's the safety element